Well, last year, the debut Necrosonic Festival shook the foundations of the Mansfield Tavern to its core. So much so that it's back again this year with 30 of the heaviest and filthiest bands from the underground. It's August 23 at the Mansfield Tav, and joining us now on the breakdown is Kent Haines, the man behind Necrosonic. How you going, mate?
Yeah, good man.
It's
Very
been a
good.
while.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Yeah, that's for sure. So this is the second one. How did the first one go?
First one was great. Look, it just started off as because I was overseas with some friends who also run some festivals, and I just sort of, I think they were incepting me a little bit with the idea, but I sort of had the idea as well anyway. And so I used to do stuff like Overcranked and Dead of Winter, Inferno Fest, sort of things before, and had quite a bit of a break and decided, all right, yeah, let's do it. And it went really, really, really well. Better than I expected. So much so that Mansfield were like, well, you doing one next year? Because let's book in the date. And I was like, okay, let's do it.
Excellent.
So
It's great that a venue is on side with it too, isn't it? Because so many times, the metal community kind of, gets shunned from a lot of places, and it's good to have that support from the venue.
oh, look, it's great. And they've just done a massive, massive renovation out there. So there's going to be this year, there's going to be, look, LED screens on each of the stages rather than just main stage. Second stage will be bigger. Sports bar's been done up, and the lighting system is almost second to none inside the Mansfield now. I really can't wait for everyone to see it because it's just going to be amazing.
It's got an amazing history too, hasn't it? I mean, Motorhead played there, and the Cult. There's been stacks of bands. Fear Factory played there, yeah. So it's got a good pedigree.
That's right. I think it's almost like the longest running, continuously running live venue in Queensland. I think that
That
was
wouldn't surprise me. Yeah,
something that they've
yeah.
something they're one of their claims to fame.
Portal are going to be headlining. Tell us about them.
Oh, look, Portal have been a mainstay of the Brisbane sort of um, death metal. Can you even call them death metal? They really carve out their own genre. Indescribable. They're definitely unique, and they bring an amazing stage show to it. And they've had a big, big break for quite a few years now. They just did their first show back at Crowbar back in April, and now they've got their Australian tour and New Zealand tour coming up, fitting in with Necrosonic Festival this year. Then they're going over to Europe, as they haven't been over there for a long time either. But their stage show is second to none. Like, it's really like encapsulates that inescapable sort of horror, sort of Lovecraftian kind of vibes to it. They really put something different on that. If you haven't seen it before, it's worth just going to see. But they're a world renowned band, and they're from Brisbane, so
And Bolzer sound like they're a pretty interesting band too.
they're great. I've been a big fan of Bolzer for a long time. They've done, I think the last time they were out here was 2019, but they've been out here a couple of times with Behemoth and some other bands over the years. They're brilliant. They're two piece, and the sound they get as a two piece is just absolutely amazing.
So it's guitar and drums.
Guitar and drums, and it is huge, absolutely huge. So yeah,
And you've managed to resurrect a few bands as well.
yes,
Bean Flipper, one of my
that's
favourites from
oh,
back in the 90s. And yeah.
absolutely, definitely. I reached out to them last year. I sort of put up on Facebook and was like, oh, look, um, anyone from Bean Flipper on here that get in contact with? And I didn't realize that Maddie was already one of my friends on there, and we got chatting, and I sort of floated it to the guys. He's like, oh, you know, I'll talk to the guys. I don't know what they'll say. And he's come back 2 days later and gone, geez, you wouldn't believe it, but they're in. We've just got to track down Rick, our vocalist, now. We haven't spoke to him in a while. Don't even know what he's doing. So then a couple of days later, that we've managed sort of between us to track him down, and he's in like Flynn. So, and then all of a sudden,
Fantastic.
Beat Flip was happening, and something that I never thought would happen. It was a bit of a Hail Mary, and something
Yeah.
I'm absolutely stoked is happening, because yeah, one of my favorite bands of Australian bands of all time, and to get them back playing again, That's one
Yeah.
off the bucket list for me, at least. Anyway.
You got to wonder. I mean, I think it's a great thing that something like this can happen and pull those bands back together, isn't it? I'm amazed at some of the bands you've managed to get resurrected. Days End, Brace, Massic, Idle Ruin, Bramelin, who have been just going and still going from strength to strength, aren't they? The record they brought out, I think, was last year. Fantastic album.
I caught them at Essence Festival, which is another really good underground festival happening in Canberra. Around about October, November every year. Went down last year and Bremelin played the opening show, and it just blew me away yet again. Every time I see them, got the two Haley brothers, both of them in there now, and some absolute legends of all time in there in that band. So
How does it work at the Mansfield? Have you got 3 stages?
3 stages. They've got their big main stage, which is always there. Off to the left, I believe, this year will be the second stage. It was a bit smaller than what we thought last year, but with renovations now, it should be fine. It should be it's almost waist height for that second stage now. And then the other one will be in the sports bar. 2 stages in the main room that run sort of back to back with a 5 minute sort of changeover. And then another one in the sports bar on the side of that. And the sports bar's been renovated, and that was like the party room last year. Like it fits about 350, 400 in there, and yeah, it sort of get a bit more up and close kind of deal to it, but it rocked.
Tell us about how you went with Overcrank, because that was a great festival when it was around, wasn't it?
Yeah, look, and part of the vibe I'm looking for with Necrosonic is metal for
Yeah.
the brain meets Overcranked really, and even trying to get bands that have played on that on both those to resurrect. So Overcranked was great. Look, Ants and I did the first 2 years together, and then we tried to do the third year, but that got shut down before it could happen, which is a real shame because I've still got the poster. I look at that lineup and I just go, wow, like that's pretty awesome. And we still managed to pull together a show at the last minute, which was Skin Lab, Alchemist, my old band Hollow. I think it was Days End's first show, and then a local band Headcase, and that went really well at the QUT Gardens Point. But after that, we had a bit of a break because we lost quite a bit of money on that not happening. So yeah, that wasn't until I think 2005, Ants decided to resurrect it, but I'd moved on to my own stuff by that point and only had a very minor role in helping out there.
So we're not going to resurrect Hollow at any stage, mate?
Look, we did a couple of shows back in I think 2016, and then we did one which was we actually said, look, this is going to be our very very last show, which was at Dead of Winter in 2017. So that was definitely our last show, that one.
Can just tell us about one of the bands that I just kind of got into and have been listening to a little bit, Ghost Smoker. Tell us about them.
Yes, Ghost Smoker, I'm so looking forward to Ghost Smoker. This bill tried to get in last year, but didn't quite work out with timing for them. But they were one of the first bands I booked on this year, other than Bean Flipper, and their new album is just absolutely crushing. Like, it's got some, if anyone else knows of the band, Yob vibes to it, just that really thick doom like sort of sound, but it's also like got the big grooves and it pumps in some bits. It's just, I can't wait to see it pull off live. It's going to be amazing.
Well, mate, look, it's been great to talk to you. So it's going to be the Necrosonic Festival, 30 bands, 3 stages, 12 hours of pure brutality, and it's on the 23rd of August. So that's not far away at the Mansfield Tavern in Brisbane. I did a lot of my growing up at the Mansfield Tavern. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see Motorhead. We had some friends who worked at the Mansfield Tavern. When Motorhead played, they had to take all the bottles off the glass shelves at the back because they were just vibrating off. It was so loud. So they had to come and grab them.
I would believe it.
Good on you, mate. Well, thank you very much for that. And like I said, it's 23rd of August. So that's coming up pretty soon. The Mansfield Tavern in Brisbane. 30 bands, 3 stages, and 12 hours. Thanks for joining us on The Breakdown.
Awesome. Thanks, Costa.